All right, you guys. I'm hoping this comes together. Okay, this is wild. Okay. Your shadow is what is going to save you. And it doesn't mean that it's not still hard to face it sometimes, or to like know that you have rage inside of you, or that, you know, all of these things. Like, you're still having to face and soothe and love yourself through it and forgive and all these things. But your shadow is the thing that's also gonna that is your power. And I don't know what that is. I don't know what that's, and maybe I like to think, because it just makes it, I know that we're different, we're individual. So for me, it's Kali, like it's Kali Ma, like that was my awakening, is this rage inside me that was like, absolutely no more. And unfortunately I did take it out on my kid, and then I started doing a lot of the work because I didn't want to take it out on people, because I was like, holy shit, dude, like, and so that scares people too, you know, of course, it makes sense, like, but that's where learning to control, learning how to calm yourself, but also you're harnessing that power at the same time. Because when I first had my awakening, I mean, it's still, because especially, I have this understanding that the situation that we're in, like, it's hard for me to not have probably some level of brainwashing. But this is the other thing, or like, you know, the magic that's put on you, illusions casting. But the other thing is that that's one of the blessings that we just have to keep reminding ourselves when it gets hard being lonely, is that isolation is one of those things that is like, it's such a, it's like, it's all meant to be in the bigger picture, but it's such a blessing and a gift that God gives you, because there are things that you just like, there's things that come to me that I'm just like, what, like, you know, you can't, even if you had a toxic family, you're not going to be able to put all the pieces together when you're there, because you have to cope, you're surviving, your ego is protecting you, and it still is going to be that going forward. But that's why your shadow is going to be the thing. And I always feel like a very ancestral energy when I have to stand up for myself, or any of that, is it's like, I know that like your ancestors are like rallying around you, because we're programmed to think that we're not supposed to protect ourselves first, but that's nonsense. That's not true at all. So you always have your support team backing you up in those moments. Okay, yeah, I didn't know why I had this rate. I was like, what, like, where did this come from? Because I didn't, and it's interesting, because like, there's a few people, like, there haven't been that many deaths in my family. Like, it's interesting, because I don't want to get on side topics. Both my grandparents on my mom's side died of cancer my grandfather passed before, or not before I was born. I was very little, and then my grandmother, she was someone who's was very close to, and she passed away. She was was a big one in the family, and but then my dad's side, my grandfather just recently passed, and grandmother's in her 90s, and so, and then even aside from that, there haven't been that many deaths. But it's like, my mom's side of the family is like all like very flashy, like very, and I always knew that, and like they always like to do things big, and it was always like this big show, and everybody's like just this big pretend, like, I don't know, that's how it felt. It was, I was like, I know there's stuff going on behind, like, it was just very intense and dramatic, and aggressive, very aggressive, like, never felt very like warm and cozy. Like, that wasn't like, I love that energy now, but like, I didn't feel a lot of that. Like, my dad's side was Oldsmobile, so that's a whole other, okay, like I said, I don't want to get on side topics. I don't know what's going to happen next. because we're as broke as you get. And our house needs repairs, and I'm trying to trust the process, but I also know that I have to get us the F out of here. Like, my family didn't invite us to anything. I haven't spoken to them since I don't know when. Last time I saw my mom, she was taking more money out of the mortgage. So it's just gotten crazier and crazier. Oh yeah. So it's like I started piecing things together slowly, and it's like I said, when you're still around these people or in the circumstances, it's like, because it still is like a thing where you kind of like phase out sometimes, where it's like you kind of detach or you like disassociate because it's so crazy. You really start to feel like the mailman, what is it, the mailman's daughter or whatever, the milkman's daughter or son, because you're like, did I even like, how did these people, like, I don't understand. But like my mom having jealousy and stuff, and there's been times where it came out and stuff, so it's like that's a whole other that's a whole other experience to have to unravel, of like what that means, and what, and like you're forced into a fight. So that's why I'm saying you need your shadow, because it's all of this healing. And like for me, inner child is still one of those that's like, and I think through my kid has been a lot of being able to heal that, because your inner child just is like so hurt by like not being seen and stuff like that, or heard. But like having to unravel having jealousy with a parent to a child, it's like, because as a kid, it's like I still will have love for my family, but I'm always gonna have to have these crazy boundaries, and I'm never gonna be able to, like, I have to walk away. Like, you can't, like, jealousy is one of those things where it's like, if you can't heal that part of you, if you I think it's envy, because it's like envy is like another level where it's like you want what that person has. And so then you're always trying to sabotage, destroy, or take from them. There's never any possibility of reciprocity or a mutual exchange or anything, which is the same thing. So it's just like, it's a whole other thing to unravel on this journey, because that's what I mean. Like, you're forced into a situation where you have to stand up for yourself. You have to fight back. And, but it all comes together, because once you're on your own, you start to see things differently. You have the strength to continue to persevere and face it, because I didn't have that strength at one point in time, and I needed help with my kid. I mean, I needed that, and we needed security and stuff like that. And I'm really grateful for all of those things. And even if my mom never cared, I appreciated my kid having somewhat of a relationship with them, and he cherishes those people. So I mean, I don't want him around people that don't have good intentions. There's a beautiful eagle flying up there. It's so cool. It's about to rain, so we gotta head in. But you guys, like, it all, like, it's just us right now. We're not with any of our other family, and that's okay. Like, that there's so much that, woo, it's like the storm is blowing in. That's crazy. There's so much that you just learn to cherish life, like, moment to moment, and that's so precious. And then there's the grief, but the grief is something that you're able to, like, help mold you and, like, create art with it and stuff, because it's like, you can't change the clock, you can't change you learn to be, like, honor your story, and like, and instead of it being like this thing that you feel ashamed about, or like it just hurts, it's like, no, that, like, these are my battle wounds now, like, these are my tattoos on my heart. All right, I wanted to just share that, you guys. Happy Thanksgiving.